Welcome to Lesson 4 of the Living World online course. Before we start, have a go at the recap questions from previous lessons. If you haven't watched Lesson 1, 2 and 3, click on the link now before moving on to Lesson 4. Now, let's go through the answers. Question 1. Nutrients enter through both rainfall and the weathering of parent rock beneath the soil. Question 2. The decomposer breaks down litter on the forest floor and recycles nutrients back into the soil. Finally, question 3. Nutrients can be lost from the ecosystem by a surface runoff or soil leaching. So today's lesson is about global biomes, and today's learning objective is to be able to describe the distribution of these global biomes. Let's get started. So let's recap. What do we mean by a biome? Well, a biome is a global scale ecosystem. Secondly, what do we mean by the word distribution? Well, distribution means the spread of something over an area. In this case, the world. Now, there are many global biomes spread across the world, so let's take a look at some of these. Firstly, we have the hot desert. We have the tropical rainforest, the savanna, the tundra, the deciduous forest, and finally the boreal forest, also known as coniferous. We describe the distribution of places in GCSE geography. Well, firstly, we can use lines of latitude. For example, deserts are usually found between 20 to 30 degrees north and south of the equator. Also, the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn both run through most deserts. Secondly, we can also use compass directions. For example, deserts are mainly found on the western edges of continents. Finally, we could use locational knowledge. For example, the largest desert can be found in Africa, with large ones in Asia, Australia, and North America. There are no hot deserts in Europe. So, that's how we describe the distribution. But before we move on, let's look at a few examples of global biome distribution. Your task is to memorize the information about the 4 biomes for around 30 seconds, or more if you need. When the timer is up, pause the video and write down what you can recall. Should you need longer to memorize, press the pause button earlier. So, how much did you remember? The idea behind these tasks is to boost your retention rate of your memory, to put your brain to work, and help you get into long-term memory. So, let's move on. Right, for the next part of the lesson, we will look at how to apply our knowledge now into a question. So, let's take a look and describe the global distribution of the tundra ecosystem. 3 marks. Well, the tundra can mainly be found in the northern hemisphere, in northern Canada, Russia and Scandinavia. There's 1 mark. They are generally found in the higher latitudes between 60 to 75 degrees, north and south of the equator. There's another mark. And finally, there is a small amount found on the edges of Antarctica in the southern hemisphere. There's your third mark. Latitude, compass directions, locational knowledge, 3 marks. Now sometimes they may give this question as a regional map as opposed to a global one. So let's take a look at the same question and describe the distribution of a tundra ecosystem using a regional map. Now, the tundra can mainly be found on the edges of the North American landmass. There's your first mark. The tundra is typically found in Canada and Alaska. There's your second mark. And finally, they are generally found in the higher latitudes between 60 and 70 degrees north of the equator. 3 marks. Latitude, locational knowledge, and compass directions. Now that we have gone through a couple of examples, let's try some for ourselves. Describe the global distribution of the savanna ecosystem. 3 marks. Look at the map, pause the button, and have a go. Okay, so self-assess. Now you've had a go at answering. Let's have a look at what you could have had. So the first one, the savanna can be found around 15 to 25 degrees north and south of the equator. You can get your second mark, saying that they can be found across the continents of Africa, South America, Southern Asia, and Northern Oceania. You could also get the mark maybe for some locational knowledge. For example, the savanna is located often between the desert and the tropical rainforest ecosystem. So, check your answer. How did you get on? Now the second question is describe the distribution of the desert ecosystem, 3 marks again, but using a different figure. Pause the video, have a go at answering the question. Okay, self-assess again. The figure shows that the majority of deserts are found on the western edge of North America. There's your first mark. At the latitude range of around 30 degrees north and south of the equator. There's your second mark. Deserts also spread across southwest USA and northwest Mexico. There's 3 marks. Location, latitude, and compass directions. That is how you get 3 marks for these style questions. Right. Thanks for watching. That was the end of Section A's online course for the living world. Have a look out for Section B on the tropical rainforest. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.